This is Tomo News for Wednesday, October 4th.
What will happen if the Bali volcano blows? Bali's Mount Agung volcano is set to blow at any minute, but if it does, what will an eruption look like? The Indonesian island of Bali is home to some 4.2 million people. Authorities have evacuated some 75,000 people in danger zones surrounding the Mount Agung volcano. 30 miles southwest of it is the island's capital, Denpasar, as well as a busy international airport. The volcano has been quiet for almost 5 decades, but last week 700 tremors were detected in a single day. Experts, as well as the Indonesian government, believe this to be a sign that Mount Agung is ready to erupt. If it does erupt, the resulting current of superheated gas, known as a pyroclastic flow, would pose a danger to anyone nearby. That gas is said to be one of the most deadly threats from any potential eruption. It is made up of volcanic matter such as ash and rocks and can travel up to 450 miles per hour. Mount Agung stands at over 3,100 meters tall. That's more than 4 times the size of the world's tallest building, the Burj Khalifa. However, any resulting ash cloud from an eruption could stretch to heights of 10,000 meters or higher. This would create chaos and danger for flights in and around Indonesia and other nearby countries. Eruptions of this scale can create major problems for airplanes. Volcanic ash clouds are also made up of small fragments of rock, known as tephra. When these are sucked into an aircraft's jet engine, they freeze and merge together and stop the blades from moving. This results in engine failure. The last time Mount Agung erupted was in 1963, and the resulting catastrophe killed more than 1,000 people. The 4 main types of volcanoes. A volcano is an opening in the Earth's surface where molten rock can escape. The Earth's crust is made up of tectonic plates that shift and move. Volcanoes are often located at the fault lines between these plates. Cinder cone volcanoes occur when lava is ejected from a volcanic vent. Lava is shot into the air and pieces accumulate around the vent. This creates a circular or oval-shaped cone with a bowl-shaped crater at the top. Composite volcanoes contain a conduit system that channels magma to the surface. These volcanoes can have clusters of vents along the sides of the mountain where lava flows out. Shield volcanoes are large, broad volcanoes where lava pours out in thin layers, allowing it to travel farther down the shallow slopes. They build up slowly, with hundreds of eruptions creating many layers. Lava domes are created when small masses of thick lava can't flow far from the source, so domes pile up around the vent. The dome grows by expansion of lava from within, and the mountain forms from material spilling off the sides of the dome. Vegas shooter kills at least 59 people, injures 527. At least 59 people were killed and 527 injured when a sniper opened fire at a Las Vegas concert on Sunday night. Gunman Stephen Paddock, identified as a 64-year-old white male, opened fire at 10:08 p.m. from the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Hotel toward Route 91 Harvest Country Music Festival. Paddock was staying in a large suite with 2 rooms. Authorities believe he used both rooms to shoot from different angles. The shooting went on from between 5 to 15 minutes, however, estimates vary. Authorities found dozens of guns in his hotel room and at least 19 firearms and bombs at his Nevada residence. Authorities were able to locate Paddock quickly because the smoke from his guns set off the fire alarm. Around the time when the SWAT team entered Paddock's room, he reportedly opted to kill himself instead of facing the consequences of his heinous actions.
What's a bump stock? The man behind Sunday night's atrocity in Las Vegas had 23 firearms in his hotel, including 2 rifles with a modified bump stock. Regular semi-automatic rifles require the user to pull the trigger to fire a shot. Bump stock modifications essentially eliminate the need for this. They absorb recoil from the firing rifle and use it to bump the trigger into the shooter's stationary finger. This, combined with the forward positional pressure from the shooter, allows the gun to fire at a rate closer to that of a fully automatic weapon. These modifications are legal at federal level and have been around for a while and are used by thousands of gun owners across the U.S. According to a pro-gun news site Bearing Arms, Sunday night's events are the first time the bump stock modification has been used in a mass shooting. But just how much of a role it played in that tragedy may bring the legality of bump stocks into question.
Everything you need to know about the Catalonia referendum. On October 1, 2017, Catalonia voted for independence despite massive opposition from the central Spanish government. To understand what triggered their bitter divorce, we need to dive back into their long and rocky relationship. The northeast region of Catalonia is one of Spain's 17 autonomous communities. It's home to 7.5 million people and has its own distinct language, history, and culture. Catalonia was once under the Kingdom of Aragon, which unified with Castile in the 15th century. It remained a state until it was defeated in the 1714 siege of Barcelona, and its sovereignty was abolished. Under the newly centralized Spanish realm, Catalans were forced to adopt the Castilian language and customs. The region regained autonomy when Spain became a republic in 1931, but lost it again during the Franco dictatorship. Franco's death restored democracy, allowing Catalonia to have its own parliament, police force, and education system. Though they have a high degree of autonomy, Catalans are not satisfied with the central government. As Spain's wealthiest region, it generates 20% of the national GDP. But high budget cuts during the 2008 financial crisis and complaints of paying more taxes than they get back have increased separatist sentiment. In 2010, the Spanish Constitutional Court reversed a 2006 ruling that granted the region nation status and its own tax system, angering many and fueling the movement for independence. This movement culminated in the October 1st referendum, which Madrid has called illegal. A Catalonian secession would impact the Spanish economy, but will also see the region out of the EU. With no free trade, the region's economy could shrink and the unemployment rate could double. But do all Catalans want independence? Interestingly, polls taken before the referendum showed that while 70% wanted the right to vote, only 41% sought independence. Still, Madrid's response was aggressive. It arrested Catalan leaders and took down websites and apps in an effort to thwart the vote. On the day of the referendum, violence erupted as police seized ballots and forcibly stopped people from voting. Despite the danger, voter turnout was at 42.3%, with nearly 90% of those who voted backing secession. Catalonia's president has said he will declare independence within 48 hours if the yes side won. If this happens, Spain will enter a constitutional crisis and may be forced to suspend Catalonia's autonomy. What comes next is anyone's guess.
Scotland looks set to make fracking illegal. Fracking shale gas from the land is lucrative for energy-rich countries around the globe, but many are concerned about the environmental impact. One such place is Scotland. The Scottish government looks set to make fracking illegal in the country, following opposition against it from the public. But why is the process so controversial? Fracking miners bore a deep pipeline that curves and extends for miles. Next, they ply it with fracking fluid. This is a cocktail of water, sand, and toxic chemicals. Pressure from this creates underground fractures that the sand keeps open. Shale gas then flows back towards the surface, where it is extracted for energy use. Fracking opponents fear the process may cause cracks in near-surface underground rock. Methane gas can seep into these fissures and create flammable water. Scottish lawmakers will vote on whether or not to ban fracking later this year. New arthritis pill helps stop bone damage. Scientists have found a new drug that can potentially stop bone loss and damage in people with diseased joints. Osteoarthritis is a degenerative joint disease caused by the breakdown of protective bone cartilage, often in the knees, hands, hips, and spine. The condition has no known cure, but a new drug called M1V711 has been shown to help reduce bone damage in affected joints. The treatment is based on a molecule involved in bone and cartilage turnovers and works by interfering with a process that leads to joint breakdown. When tested in patients aged 40 to 80, the drug reduced bone loss in the knees by 65% and improved cartilage thickness in just 6 months. By contrast, those given a placebo reported a slight increase in bone loss. The drug has very few side effects and is reportedly the first to target the diseased bone structure, instead of simply managing the pain like most existing treatments.